Welcome to a special edition of Ricky and the Rams Celebrate Women's History Month, presented by Microsoft. I'm Ricky Hollywood, and I'm honored to be kicking off this special month live from the Microsoft Lounge here in Culver City. I mean, look at this place. It is absolutely beautiful. Today, we're going to celebrate women. We are going to talk about some of the initiatives for the girls' flag football movement, and we're going to empower another generation of women that are sure to inspire us all. And what better way to do that than to talk to some of my Game Day host friends, Kirsten and Camryn Irwin. But first, I get to sit down with a dad of 4 daughters, a cheer dad, and QB1 for the LA Rams, Matthew Stafford. Matthew, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So last night, I believe, I saw your wife, Kelly, post a video of your daughter, Tyler, saying that if she had to pick mommy over daddy, she would pick mommy. You let that slide because it's Women's History Month, right?
100%. Yeah, I had to edit that video, make sure that we had a couple takes there for her, but she figured it out finally.
Okay,
yes.
good. You were like, hey, you got to say mom. Okay,
That's
good,
right.
good. I'm glad. So you're a father of 4 beautiful girls. What do you enjoy most about being a girl dad?
Man, my favorite thing is just coming home after either practices or games and being able to just get hugs from them, whether we win, lose, I have a good game, bad day at practice, whatever it is. They just give me such unique perspective. Being a dad and having daughters, I feel like that's a really unique relationship. I watched my sister and my dad have a great relationship, growing up, and getting to experience that now with 4 of them is amazing.
Yeah, I love that. Tell me each of your daughters' names, or for those who don't know, and one word that describes each of them.
Okay. Chandler is one of the twins. I would say just wholesome, like always wanting to give hugs, always wanting to do the right thing, wanting to, work for approval from mom and dad. What's the right thing to do? Let me do that. Sawyer, I would say creative. She loves to draw. She loves to dance. She loves to sing, art, all that kind of stuff. Hunter, spunky. She's got a lot of energy.
She's the wild one.
Yeah, she's a blast. So fun to be around. Just loves life, even at this young age. Just a joy. And then Tyler, I would say at the moment she's loud. She's the young one. She's 2 and change, and is making her presence felt. She's fighting for some attention from the older 3, but she's a lot of fun to be around. She's loud at the moment.
Yeah, that must be so much fun.
Yes.
What are some ways that you and Kelly support your girls in sports activities, and how important are sports for them? Yeah, I mean, we just try to be there as much as we can. Obviously that's an easier thing for me to do when the off season comes around. I can be there as much as I can. And then during the season, I try to find time. Sometimes on Saturdays after our walkthroughs, I would go meet them at a soccer game, or when we first got here to Los Angeles, I was out there on the field doing t-ball with them, cheerleading. I feel like I've been to all of it. We're just trying to... You were cheerleading?
No, I was not. No pom-poms for me. Okay. But I was there watching either practice or game, whatever fit with my schedule. Just trying to be there as much as I can. I know that support is crucial and something that I enjoy watching them do it. They're athletic, talented little girls, and it's fun to watch them do their thing. It probably runs in the family a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
Do you think that they realize who their dad is yet? Or do you think you're still in that sweet spot where you're just daddy?
They kind of understand it. I went to, their school, the twins and Hunter's school the other day, and was in the lunch line, and it got a little crazy in there, and they were starting to figure it out. They're like, oh, I think just everybody knows my dad. I don't really know that they realize that so many people like watching football or enjoy the Rams or whatever. But they do know that a lot of people, I guess, recognize me or know me, but
so you're the mayor really to them.
Exactly right. They don't really, care too much other than that.
Yeah. So you're minority owners for the Angel City Football Club, the National Women's Soccer League team here in LA. Why is it important to get behind that, and where did your interest for that come about?
We went to a game last year, Mother's Day. That was kind of one of my gifts to Kelly, was kind of getting the girls together, bringing them all, and and going to a game there. And first one we'd ever been to, but we were kind of blown away at what it was, the experience, the amount of women that were doing really special things, both on the field and off of it, as far as getting that whole thing started and continuing its success. So something that was kind of brought to us as an opportunity to be a part of it. And it was a no doubter for us. You know, we're excited not only to be kind of, you know, throwing some roots down in Los Angeles, but also giving our girls something, you know, to look forward to aspire to, you know, to be excited about.
Yeah, I got to check out that stadium, and it is pretty incredible. And I heard the fans are pretty crazy during the game.
It's awesome. It's a great place to watch a game. It's the perfect size for a soccer game, and you know, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Do you remember their junior cheer performance at SoFi?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch it, or did you help with the routines? Were you guys working on it late night before the game?
I'll leave that to her mom, but no, I watched I got to go the day before or 2 days before, whatever it was, and I got to see the rehearsal, which was like herding cats. There were so many little girls out there and boys running around. It was crazy. And then I was able to watch, you know, the final product, which was so fun. Our girls are, you know, towards the front, and we didn't really know what was going on, but we were having a good time watching the cheerleaders next to us do their thing and try to emulate them. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was so great.
Yeah.
Are there any lessons you learned from playing sports as a kid that helped you on the field today, or just in your daily life?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the majority of learning experiences I've had in my life probably come from sports, whether it be being part of a team, you know, in football, learning to fail in baseball, you know, just I played every sport under the sun. I feel like growing up, I played football, basketball, baseball, soccer when I was a kid, ran track. I mean, I feel like there were so many times where you either fail or learn about hard work or dedication or sacrifice or whatever it is. And those are things that are easily learned through sports and are a whole lot of fun to do, you know, learn while you're doing it. And so all of those things I take into not only how I play and how I prepare and all that in my NFL football career, but how I am as a person, how I am as a dad, all that, you know, is really relevant.
I know when we talk about adversity, it does sort of feel like a PR answer, like that could be BS, but it is kind of true. Like looking back at my sports growing up, and it's just like, this too shall pass. If you keep working on it, don't be a quitter. And I think that those are super important life lessons.
Yeah.
I'm really excited that now in the state of California, girls flag football is a sanctioned sport for high schoolers. What does that mean to you that your girls could be playing flag football if they so choose in high school? Or what does it mean for girls in the sport in general?
I think it's awesome. I think the more opportunities we can create for girls, for people out there is you know, the better. And that was definitely not a thing that was around when I was in high school or college, or, you know, obviously it's new this year, but like, what a cool opportunity. What a cool thing for girls to aspire to be. You know, and even if it's a girl who's not interested in any other sports but loves football, it's an outlet for her, you know, at that age group where there wasn't one previously. So it's a really cool thing, a thing I'm excited about. And, you know, if my girls want to play it, I'd be super happy.
Yeah, you'd definitely be out there coaching, I think,
absolutely.
Being on the field. What are some ways that male athletes like yourself can help drive more visibility towards women's sports? Yeah,
I mean, I think, you know, the biggest thing, I'm not very active on it, but I know a lot of people are out there on social media, and there's great communication. I see some of the NBA, WNBA stuff, but they're trying to get their WNBA players taken care of a little bit better, and NBA guys are jumping on the bandwagon to help them out. I think the more communication that we can have for people to see, things like this, where we can talk about the importance of, you know, women's sports and you know, what that is for not only the women in our lives, but society as a whole, the better.
Okay. So how do you feel about this? And we can have to talk it over to coach as well, but like a 2 QB, I'll run out there with you for one play, maybe a goal line.
Ooh,
right?
I don't know if you want that, but yeah.
We're not sure. They're not sure if it's going to be you or me taking the ball. How do you feel about that?
I think it sounds like a disaster, but I'm in.
Perfect. Matthew, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Happy Women's History Month. I appreciate your time. And I know that so many women look up to you and your family as role models. And it is just so amazing to have you sitting down with me today.
Well, I appreciate it too. Thanks for the opportunity. And it's been fun.
Okay, joining me now in the hot seats. Hot seats. No, just kidding. It's Kirsten Watson and Camryn Irwin. Hello, ladies. How are we today?
We're good.
We're fantastic.
We like kind of matched.
I was just gonna say, I don't know how you guys texted and left me off the group chat. Is that what happened?
You know what? We didn't, but if there is a group chat, you will be in it.
Okay.
You know, we'll make sure that.
Good to know.
But we did not. I almost did.
Okay, so it's Women's History Month. Yes. My favorite month of the year, potentially. Maybe. It's up there. Top 12, probably.
For sure.
So you both, top 12. You both grew up playing sports, okay? College volleyball players. What did you enjoy most about sports? I know that that's such like an open-ended question, but I was a tennis player in college, and even though that's sort of like an individual sport, there's still a lot of camaraderie. And so that's probably something that I take away from it from the most. But Kirsten, I'll start with you. Yeah. You know, both of you are way taller than me, so you can tell that I didn't play volleyball. I did in high school, actually. So maybe we could, talk about that.
DS.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I was like kind of running back in the back of the line. So
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you were a
defensive specialist.
I like
it. It's been a while.
We'll keep you in the back row.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good question. So I would say for me, sports, it taught me who I am today. Everything from working with others, for having discipline in my life, having an understanding of just, yes, things will go well some days and other times they won't. And how do you kind of just reset and keep in that mindset? It gave me a competitive outlet to, just like really understand the woman I was becoming. So for me, it was everything from, yes, team sports and working alongside others, but there's an aspect of just with individuality within sport. And I think, literally the woman I am today is because of being an athlete in all sense of it. It's routine, it's discipline, it's
friendships,
understanding your
it's
body, it's
relationships.
friendships, exactly. Being coachable. Yeah. I mean, that's something you're gonna have as you get older, and understanding how to take feedback and things like that, and how to apply things. And so it's funny, I think about this often. It's like, I literally don't know who I would be if I didn't play sports. My family is very much like, oh, you're playing everything. Like, I was on the swim team. I ran track.
Was that you, or was that your family being like, Kirsten, you're going to do all of this?
I think it was both. I think my mom was like, you have a lot of energy. And we need to,
we gotta tire you out.
we need to tap that down.
Please get out of the house.
Exactly. So I think it was a little bit of everything, but I also really enjoyed it. My family was very much of kind of, what do you want to do and what sports you do like and you don't like. Now, funny thing, volleyball, I did not want to play.
Really?
But my mom, I was switching schools for middle school, and volleyball is the first, like, it's a fall sport. And my mom was like, well, you can make new friends at this new school, so you should try out for volleyball. And I was so bad. I genuinely don't know how I made the team. I think I just was tall. And they're like, she's tall and athletic. She'll figure it out.
Just stick her in the middle of the court.
Literally, like, stick her in the middle. Just jump up and down. You just got block, it. Don't hit the net. Like, that was it. Like, just don't hit the net. And ended up loving it. And the next thing I knew, I was playing club volleyball. And then I was on, like, the really bad team of the club.
Same. That was my experience,
and
too.
then I got really good in a year.
Yeah, that wasn't my experience. Yeah. Then it ended there for me.
Yeah, all of a sudden, a year later, I was really good. And then, I was on, like, it's called the ones team.
Humble brag.
I was not moving forward.
Ayo.
Actually, the humble brag is I was on varsity as an 8th grader, but
Whoa.
Oh, the humble brag was I tried out as a sophomore and got put on the freshman team because I was so short. And I was really mad and I almost quit. And my mom was like, you're not a quitter. Yes. You're going to be on the freshman team as a sophomore. It's not your fault that you're 5'2". It's my fault. And I was like, you're right, Mom. It is your fault. And then I served 24 points in a row to 25. Killer. And I thought I might, like, get bumped up to JV, and I didn't. So then I didn't play again after that.
But that's a great stat line.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. But this actually needs to be scrubbed from the interview. Like, I don't want this public knowledge. Like, I don't want this in the database.
Okay. I don't know. It's a cool stat.
It's a cool stat when I was, 40 and the rest of them were 13. But other than that, Camryn, how about you?
It's interesting. As much as you've talked about camaraderie and leadership, I think those are first and foremost the things that come to my mind. But also, even just being a sophomore on the freshman team or anything like that creates moments of adversity. And I think sports can do that like anything, like nothing else. And for me, I think one of the things sport taught me was that it's okay to be passionate. It's okay to show emotion. It's okay to fight for something. And as a female, I think that that's one of the most empowering things that you can have. It's so often that at times we can be quiet or we can be soft. And I think sport brought me the complete opposite. It showed me to that I can be who I want to be, and I can fight for the things I want to fight for and face adversity time and time again. And it's so funny, I've coached for years and years, and one of my favorite pieces of coaching is just getting to sit with an athlete and also with parents as well, and say, please let your child struggle, let them face adversity, because there is nothing that will prepare them for life better than sport will, and the challenges that they're facing. So for me, those are the biggest things that have tied me to sport, not to mention, of course, the camaraderie, the fun, leadership, sharing a common goal, fighting for those things, those moments where, gosh, I think of my collegiate career, and I went from a major university that ended up going to a national championship the year after I left. So I was at the University of Oregon, and I always dreamed of being a national champion. Things didn't go out my direction. I ended up transferring to Washington State, and it was a rebuilding program. They had gone 0-for in the Pac-12, one of the most deadly conferences in the country. And the whole thought was, well, we can rebuild this program, and there's going to be tons of obstacles. Little did I know the number of obstacles I would face. And it was extremely challenging to who I was as a person and the relationships around me. But I will never forget walking out of there thinking, I have 6 or 7 people that were just along the ride with me. And if I ever needed anything in my life to this day, they live in DC and South Dakota and just Arizona, anywhere you might think in the United States. And it's just incredible to think that I always have a person to call, or someone, if it really came down to it, that just, they were at war with me. And there's nothing quite like that. It teaches you so much.
Definitely. But what you guys just said is just resonates with me so hard. And I think, and I'll speak for myself here, going from playing sports to covering sports has been an adjustment. And there are those moments where I'm like, oh, get me in there. Like, I want to play, or like, I've got that adrenaline rushing through me, which I'm sure you guys do too.
Yeah.
But I think that's sort of where our passion comes from when we are covering sports. If it's spring training on Dodgers to game day to pickleball, play-by-play. I mean, I can hear it in your voice when you're doing it. And it's pretty magical. And it's really exciting to watch you guys thrive like that. We're here also to talk about, the Girls Flag Football Initiative. And I'm so passionate about the Rams' involvement in that and how it is a sanctioned sport for girls high school. Now, on game day, one of our kid reporters, McKenna Cook, shout out to my kids show pal. I know you're watching. She is amazing. This is going to be a sanctioned sport for her in the state of California when she goes to high school next year. Yeah. What do you think this means for girls across the state, across, opening their eyes into football, getting more football eyes on them, and hopefully funneling them straight into Rams fans for life like we are?
Yeah. I would just say it's opportunity. That's huge. The biggest thing. When I think about, we didn't get the chance to play flag football like that as a sanctioned sport growing up, but we did get the chance to play sports that we were really passionate about. And that opened so many doors. That was doors to college. That was doors into working in sports down the line. I think the biggest thing when I think of where I am is, while I've never played baseball professionally or football professionally, I know what it's like to be an athlete and in their shoes.
Definitely.
And performing at the highest level. So when I think about these young girls who are going to get this opportunity to play this sport that they love so much, and maybe they haven't got the chance to
maybe they don't love it yet, but they love the running or the playing or everything, you know what I mean?
And just the fact that they now have the chance to take part in something new. Look, I was in 6th grade when I fell in love with the sport that I ended up being really good at, that I didn't even know anything about. That's what's so great, is now there's a chance for these girls and these young women to take part in something new and become passionate about it. And now there's different opportunities. You could go and represent and be a part of IFAF and represent Team USA or things like that. Mm-hmm. And flag football has a future for you now. And that's something that it never had before. So for the young girls who, love watching football with their dad or with their mom or their family or anyone, their friends, now they can play it. And I think that's just the biggest thing, is now that there's an opportunity. And I think of, we have a special relationship with McKenna, and she's so incredibly talented, like
too talented. It's like, calm down a little bit.
Her future, I just can't wait to see what happens next for her. And, she's she's a force, and she's young, and she's also leading the way for, flag football. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited.
Well, and you talk about force, and I think that's one of the other elements for me is not only is it opportunity, but also it's going to get a chance to display just how tough young women really are. And I think that's a whole other element. So often, again, times I go back to the emotion, the desire that we show in these competitive environments. And it's just another way to show like, these chicks are gnarly, they're tough, they want to win, they want to compete, they want the contact, and they're not gonna shy away. And I cannot wait for the next generation of women to come up that has been even more fostered in them. And I think to so many women in my life, there was one coach in particular that told me it was okay to be frustrated when I lost. It was okay to feel the emotion. And I look back and with so many young athletes now, and I'm like, if you feel that, it's a good sign. It means you care.
Yeah.
Like the vulnerability and caring about something and fighting for something and trying to be the best version of yourself. I'm so excited for this next generation of young women, especially within flag football and what they're going to be able to do. I'm like, oh, I just wish I could have played more than anything.
I do too. I'm like a little salty about it. I'm like, come on, like we couldn't have done this a little while ago. Before I let you go, okay. There are more women in broadcasting than ever before. Like, shout out to the three of us killing it here at the Microsoft Lounge in Culver City in the comfy chairs. But I still feel like we have a long way to go, don't you? I mean, what do you think, in your guys' opinion, what do we need to continue to do to ensure that more women have a seat at the table, at every table?
You want to start?
Yeah. So, obviously opportunity comes to mind, but I think from the seats we're in, I think it's really about empowering, and not just empowering and encouraging.
The seats we're in, the Microsoft
the Microsoft
Lounge,
really
Culver
soft
City,
seats we're in.
super comfy.
But I think I really like the word to empower, because to me it doesn't mean just to encourage by words or a nice comment here or there, or to me, empowering is actually providing tools, right?
Definitely.
So I have so many young women that are, just coming out of college that all get a message on Instagram, or they'll be connected through somebody else. And so, it's sitting on the phone with somebody, and it's empowering them not only with information, but also like, hey, maybe here are some next steps, or here are some like good connections for you to reach out to. So not only just creating opportunities, but also encouraging by giving tools and time. And it's extremely challenging as you get further along. It's your time becomes really, really tough to kind of come by, but you still have to give back. And I think so often there was one amazing female play-by-play that really helped push me along, Anne-Marie Anderson. And she told me when I was just coming out of college, I didn't know how to thank her. I didn't have funds to thank her. I couldn't give her gifts. I didn't know what to do, because she opened so many doors for me. And she said, just when the time comes, when there's another one of you, you have to do what I have done.
Wow.
Just for you. And it's so true. And so every time I get that phone call, or every time I get a text message, I'm like, I want to be somebody's Anne-Marie Anderson. I want to be there to be able to help empower somebody else into this industry.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So well said.
I think that, honestly, Camryn put it perfectly. We are in a space in which, in football, it's a blessing that we can look across the sidelines and look around. And there are so many women who are covering this sport. In basketball, it's the same. We have women who are in the booth calling play-by-play as analysts and things like that. In baseball, it's very limited. I am the only Black female sideline reporter of a Major League Baseball team. And that is something that it's jarring when I walk into some spaces over there. And as much as they're pushing and they're trying to make changes, it's quite obvious that there is still a lot more that needs to be done, specifically on that side. And I think it just reminds you that across the board, yes, we have made changes and we are pushing boundaries and we're in spaces that we weren't in before, but we're not done yet. And I think Camryn said it perfectly. We have an opportunity and a privilege to kind of sit in the spaces that we're in right now, and to make sure that we are lifting as we climb, in the sense that it's not just, it's the people who are alongside of us as well. It's not just in front of the camera, it's behind the camera, it's producing, directing. There's so many spaces, being the creative minds of these things, of these shows. So, yeah, I mean, you just have to continue to, I think, just inspire and uplift those around us.
I
and
agree.
if people who want to be in this space, show them that they can be in this space. You know, the fact that the three of us can sit here and we come from three very different backgrounds and we're all together right here shows that there is a space for all of us. It's just a matter of, okay, so now we've done this. So how do we make sure that when we leave this spot is filled with someone else who is in a similar situation and who can be that woman and be in these spaces. So, you know, it's not easy, and it's something that we all have to carry with us, and we don't carry it lightly. We carry it with pride, and
it's heavy.
Yeah, it's a tricky. It's heavy, but it's worth it.
Definitely. And I think as much as I think this conversation is so important, and I love that we have the opportunity to do this, I look forward to a day where we don't have this conversation, where I'm not sitting here and I have to be like, what do you think we need to keep doing? Like,
yeah, but on the flip side,
I agree. There's duality again.
Yes.
That is a theme. I agree. I think that the more conversations that these are having, we have to keep having them. But I look forward to a day where we walk in the room and we, you know, there are many people that respect us and respect our opinions, but to a day where it's not just like, I'm still climbing here to be just a woman to hold my own in the space. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I do agree with that. But I do think that there is, on the flip side, if we keep having these conversations, because look, think about the women who have come before us. Like, we're not the first by any means,
no chance.
you know? No. So they put in so much work for us to be in these spaces. So now it's a matter of, yes, we're going to continue it, but in 20 years, we should still be having these conversations because we want more.
Right.
We constantly want more. I mean, look, we're finally getting, you know, flag football for young girls to be sanctioned in the state of California. I think about the Super Bowl commercial with Deanna Flores. She's been playing flag football forever, you know? Like, that's not new, but it is new now for certain states. So we have to keep doing these conversations because yes, it gets frustrating and it's day after day, but like, is it worth it? 100%.
Absolutely.
Because if we can make a brighter future for our daughters, granddaughters, whatever down the line, like, then I mean, hey, someone else had to do it for us, so we have to keep pushing that for them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I'll say the same. I think it's a matter of kind of passing the torch too. Mm-hmm. And I think there are, just in terms of areas where females can even grow even greater into a space, is even in the play-by-play world.
Yeah.
You know, it's traditionally a male-dominated role in television, and it's a space that I continually try and push and step into. And don't get me wrong, it is absolutely terrifying in different times, but it's a space that I never thought I wanted to be in, and now all of a sudden I decided, like, this is where I'm meant to be. And I just want to encourage so many young women to, like, even if you don't think it's something that you want, try it, because it might surprise you a little bit.
And just quickly, before I just got one more thing to say,
we like to
think
talk
about it with all of these young women who are now playing football, and there's always this stigma of like, oh, well, like, you never played. So it's like, how can you call the game if you've never played? It's like,
excuse me.
Yeah. So now we have a generation of women who are going to be playing, and they're going to be playing in high school, and they're going to be playing in college, hopefully, and hopefully they'll be playing professionally, so that they have the knowledge. I'm not saying we don't have it now, because we definitely have it now.
We definitely have it. But
it's just proof, and even more that, like, think about what this next generation of young women can be when we get to a point in 10 years and we're going to see McKenna Cook in the booth calling play-by-play.
Can't wait for
like,
that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
she
just,
doesn't know yet, but we're going to plan for
she
it.
doesn't want to do that. Sorry, McKenna, not trying to push anything on you, but I'm just saying, like, the opportunity that exists that's going to be coming for these young women, it's bigger than anything that we could have ever thought or even experienced, because we still live in the stigma of, oh, well, you've never played before. Okay, and?
Right?
That's fine. I have two eyes and I can see and I can study.
Yep.
So it's just, I think that's what excites me most about, like, there is such a future for these young women who are going to be in football and honestly all these other sports, but it's exciting to see what's to come.
Well, after this conversation, I am ready to run through a brick wall for Women's History Month. I am so honored to be able to sit down with you two. I adore working with you. You are an inspiration to not just me, but to everyone watching. Thank you guys so much for your time in between spring training and pickleball play-by-play. I can't, you guys are phenomenal. And thank you so much for spending the time with me. Thank you so much for joining us for Ricky and the Rams Celebrate Women's History Month, presented by Microsoft. I want to once again thank our amazing guest. Matthew Stafford was on earlier. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
Amazing, amazing show. Camryn, Kirsten, thank you so much. And to all the women and girls out there, I see you, I'm proud of you, and keep dreaming, because because you can do anything you set your mind to. And maybe you'll be sitting like these two in these chairs one day. I hope I am. I want to be on the other side. You know what I mean? This is Ricky Hollywood signing off from the Microsoft Lounge. Happy Women's History Month.